Hello and welcome back to Retro Rampage. Today we're going to be talking about something that's been kind of getting the gaming community into a little bit of an uproar. You might have heard about, there was an 8-year-old in Louisiana that shot and killed his 87-year-old grandmother with a handgun.
Or whatever it was undeclared.
And they're blaming Grand Theft Auto 4 because that's what he was playing on his PS3 minutes before the shooting occurred. So, of course, instead of going to the more obvious reasons, they want to use video games as a scapegoat. And
done many times before.
And I was talking to Patrick Scott Patterson on Twitter, and we kind of were going back and forth about how the media tends to ignore gamers, and they don't want to allow them to have a voice when it comes to these things. So we kind of just wanted to have a little quick open forum about how we feel about it, especially since this has been going on for so many years, where video games have been being demonized since they've been around pretty much.
Another scapegoat media that everyone wants to point fingers at when they don't want to point the fingers at themselves.
So, the first thing is, I'd like to bring up the obvious reasons mentioned earlier. First of all, why was there a loaded handgun readily accessible to an 8-year-old?
And he knew where it was at all times, pretty much.
Why did he know where the gun was? Was the safety on? If not, how the fuck did he figure to get it off? These are all things that, as a guardian, since she's described in the news story as the guardian of the child, why was it not locked up? I mean, I understand the lady's 87 years old, but if you're going to keep a handgun around your house, you better damn sure it's locked up. So honestly, that's really the major issue here. No one ever wants to say it's bad parenting or bad guidance. They always want to say, oh, well, he was playing Grand Theft Auto. You know what? I've played hours and hours of Grand Theft Auto, and I don't have a history of violence. I haven't been violent recently, nor do I plan on it.
We may say violent things or obscene things, but that has nothing to do with our personalities or our actions, more so.
Yeah, I mean, we may be vulgar and say horrible things, but it's more for shock value in our videos, or just
and personal amusement.
I mean, we get a lot of laughs out of it, but none of that is ever serious, and we've never actually acted upon anything violent or debaucherous. Something like shooting a family member or guardian, and I think it's unfair that the news has called in numerous experts, but not a single one of them. Not a single one of them was a games expert. I mean, they bring in these people.
Even a media expert at that. Even the impact of media on society, whether it be
it's video, music, or whatever. I mean, and music has been an easy target for years now as well. I mean, just look at. I mean, you can go all the way back to Twisted Sister and Judas Priest that had all that kinds of shit. Where, in the one Judas Priest song, if you played it backwards, it sounded like he said, do it, as in kill yourself. But what is the point in that? Like, what's the context? What makes you think that that's, propagating suicide? Like, the way I've always seen it is, if you're looking for a connection between video games and violence, you're going to find it.
Whether you could look for a connection in all kinds of things and always find a connection if you look hard enough.
If you're looking for sexism in something, you're going to find it. If you look for racism, you're going to find it. If you're looking for something disparaging your religion, you're going to find it. I mean, when you're digging for something, you will find something as nitpicky as possible to make that link. And it seems like the reason video games are becoming the scapegoat is because no one wants to fucking grow a set of balls and say, you know what? The parent fucked up. The guardian fucked up. They need to, you have
personal responsibility. Coming a little bit here. It's so easy when you fuck up to push off on something else, and especially something that's not even a physical person or entity.
Yeah, they don't want to take responsibility and say, you know what? I was a shitty parent, and that's why my child engaged in some horrible act of violence.
That article never even mentioned the fact that she had a loaded gun in the house. No. Whether it's registered or not, that's your right to have one.
We were reading an article on CNN.com. Now, CNN, you would think, is a nice, reputable media
everybody
outlet.
Goes to news.
Except in the article, they never mention anything about the fact that there was a gun readily available. And in fact, they asked one of their experts about the connection, And it says here, yes, he was playing Grand Theft Auto 4, a realistic game that has been associated with encouraging violence and awards points to players for killing people just minutes before the homicide occurred. First off, let's get the facts straight. Grand Theft Auto does not give you fucking points for killing people.
You might gain cash, but you don't gain points. This isn't Pac-Man or Donkey Kong.
You get points for like doing tricks with cars, but you are awarded no points. There's no score system for killing people. Okay, so that's a fucking completely incorrect fact. So CNN kind of fucked themselves there with an asshole quote that means nothing. Secondly,
another archaic ideal.
Secondly, they refer to the previous false accusations that Grand Theft Auto causes violence, because GTA 3 got blamed for shit. Now GTA 4 is getting blamed for shit. And tons of other games have been blamed. You have Doom 2 that got called out for the Columbine shooting because apparently the two young men involved in that created a Doom 2 map of their high school. That is
not... I made a map of my high school in RPG Maker, but I didn't plan anything crazy from it. It just kind of happened to be a familiarity that
when you have a game that allows that kind of creativeness, you instantly go to things that are familiar. You make your house, you make your high school. That means nothing. And then you have Virginia Tech. They said he was a big fan of Counter-Strike. I've played Counter-Strike for 10 years. Again, I haven't had any spats of violence. I haven't gone out and stabbed somebody or thrown an HE grenade into a room full of people. This connection is complete bullshit.
Well, let's even take it into the past. Look at all war movies. All the way up into even the 70s and 80s. They were violent films that children were accessible to watch. However, parenting was done well at the time, and you don't hear about people blaming Platoon
and that's the other thing.
Apocalypse Now for there's
Grand
some violent
Theft Auto
films.
is a mature game. The ratings are there to help the parents buying games for their children.
If they're just ignorant buying whatever their kids pointing out, then fuck you. It's on you.
An 8-year-old had Grand Theft Auto 4. Now, when I was younger, 12, 13, even 11-ish, when the earlier Grand Theft Auto games came out, I had those games, but my parents knew that I knew the difference between a video game and reality, which is something that parents nowadays just don't even care to get involved with. And
another note,
then they're surprised, oh wow, I didn't realize he was sniping civilians in the head. Well, read the fucking cover. It's right there. Big M for mature, 18 plus.
Now you can argue the point with the rating system, it would suck if you're a younger kid and wanted to play a mature game, but your parents wouldn't let you get it. And yes, you can gripe about it, but at least there's an effort on the parental end of it. They're trying to prevent you from playing something that could possibly, in their mind or whatever's mind, think that could harm you mentally. Now we agree that it doesn't.
Yeah,
but still, at least there's an effort on parenting or even researching on a certain game.
The real thing is knowing
kids.
Whether or not your child has a grasp on the difference between a virtual world and the real world. And this is something that they never want to tackle. CNN didn't bring it up. Any of the other major news outlets didn't bring it up. NBC, Fox, no one. Every single fucking headline that they had was 8-year-old kills 87-year-old grandmother after playing Grand Theft Auto. It's not about the game he was playing. It's about the fact that there was an unlocked weapon, a loaded weapon, that an 8-year-old was readily accessible to get, and grabbed it and shot her in the head. It's actually offensive to me that they're going to take the blame and shift it to an arbitrary and completely out of left field object such as a PS3 game instead of focusing on the real matters. Did the child have a history of abuse or mental illness? Did he have a history of violence? Did he act up in school? Did he get in fights with other kids in his class? These are the questions they need to ask, not what video games does he play? I play fucking Pac-Man. Am I going to go around eating people or something? It doesn't make fucking sense.
Am I going to throw apes off the top of buildings?
They try and make these ties, and they're a fucking farce. But the problem is, most of the people consuming this news and taking it as fact are uneducated parents that they don't know what these video games are like. They don't realize that that's complete bullshit.
It's ignorant finger pointers.
And that goes back to the fact that major news doesn't allow the voice of gamers to be heard, and that's why we're here, because someone's got to have a voice. And the gaming community, when these things happen, we all rally up and get together, but no one wants to fucking listen to us.
Yeah, we're pushed to the side because we're not an important part of the media.
Because we're not experts. Do I have a degree in video games? No, but I fucking played them since I was 5 years old. I think I know what the hell I'm talking about. And on top of that, it's like, I've played tons of violent games. I mean, you can even go back to 1993 when Doom came out. That was another thing where parents were worried that violence was going to be, permeating our children's minds. But, like, Doom was a game. And that's
it's virtual reality.
It's a game.
It's not real.
It's a virtual world.
Hey, you know what else is virtual too? Playing cap guns when you were a child, maybe say even in the 60s or 70s. Now the kids are. Did
they go
for violence?
Did they say, this game sucks? Let's go buy real guns and shoot at each other?
Yeah.
No,
because there was a strong differentiation between what is real and
what is play and what is real life,
and personal responsibility as well.
Yeah,
raise your kids instead of using microwave dinners and TV to raise your children.
Yeah. Let's have our children raised on fucking Honey Boo Boo and Jersey Shore. Real great role models. Yet no one wants to fucking call them out. Like, people eat reality TV up and they think it's fucking wonderful. Jersey Shore was nothing but a bunch of New Yorkers sent to New Jersey acting like complete assholes. And these are the people that are going to be role models for the next generation of kids. No one has a problem with that. But if someone plays Grand Theft Auto, then, you must have an issue. No. But then when something like this happens, it's a shame because now that's all they focus on. They take all of the real ideas, throw them to the side, and just cast blame right on the easy scapegoat. And quite frankly, I'm tired of it.
Maybe it started all the way back with Lieberman. Remember him?
Oh yeah,
everything was ban it, ban everything, ban everything.
Yeah, because that was with all the Mortal Kombat shit.
Yep,
wasn't
back
it?
in Mortal Kombat.
That
93, 94, that was all going around.
That was when Mortal Kombat has blood. First off, even for how young I was when that game came out, I knew that if you punched someone in the face, 18 pints of blood weren't going to come out of their fucking jaw. Okay, first off, I mean, there's not enough blood in the human body for the blood that Mortal Kombat produces. So, just from a logical standpoint, you know that that's just not possible.
But how many movies were out before Mortal Kombat that had plenty of gore and violence that children had access to?
I mean, you could even go far back to, like, Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people getting eaten. There's they show like the people eating
the original Dawn of the Dead. Yeah.
I mean, shit like that could be disturbing to a younger viewer. But if your parent is there to guide you and say, "Look, this is a movie. This is fake." They can do the same thing with video games. Look, you might be running around killing people in Grand Theft Auto, but this is a game. You can't do this in real life. There are repercussions. You can't just
Boundaries and consequences.
And these are the things that parents nowadays are afraid to touch on with their kids, and that's why the next generation is doomed, because they grow up on fucking reality TV, and the lack of parental involvement is just laughable. We even found some articles from. He's actually an associate professor of psychology at Villanova, and he's been involved with studies on the effects of playing violent video games. And the only conclusion they were able to draw from their study is that people would be more willing to give a harsher prison sentence to a hypothetical criminal, or they'd be more willing to give someone hot sauce if they knew that they didn't like spicy food. So I don't see how spicy food relates to horrible, tragic murder. So I mean, every year you hear about a new study that proves that video games cause violence. In the end, they end up usually being debunked or like falsified data or just more bullshit, because there seems to be this odd campaign against video games, and it's kind of offensive, and at the same time I have to laugh at it because I know that they don't cause this kind of behavior, yet people want to believe it because they just, again, it's
easy to point a finger at
they
something.
They don't want to look inside themselves and go, man, I am a shitty parent, and I just let my kid watch whatever he wants, play whatever he wants. they don't want to say that because it's never their fault.
No,
Never
anybody's
my
fault.
poor little Timmy could never do that. It must have been that Call of Duty he was playing. You know, it must.
And
have,
the
it must
fact that I
have
haven't
been
spent time with my child in
in
3
Christ
weeks.
knows how long. And the other major thing, again, going back to how news outlets just don't want to listen to gamers, is, I think that, to me, the news isn't actually giving you really solid information.
No, it's usually pretty biased.
It's usually
Which would be
extremely
a whole
biased.
argument in itself, but I mean,
That's
let's
an
be
entirely
honest here.
separate thing, but the news is ratings based. I'm sure you've seen movies like Anchorman, but even though that's a comedy, when they talk about the news being ratings based, even like Bruce Almighty and shit like that, it's the truth. So the news isn't just giving you things that you need to know. They're giving you things that are going to give them higher ratings and therefore keep them on the air. So, of course, there's going to be some bias that comes along with that. So, having an actual video game expert come on the show and say, yeah, this is all bullshit, that's not going to drive ratings.
No, nobody wants to see that.
No, they want to have some, hardcore liberal come in and say, ban everything, we don't need this shit.
Yeah, some Bible Belt asshole, no offense to anybody.
Yeah, some Bible bashing bastard, again, no offense. I mean, we really don't mind your faith, just don't try and force it on us.
Exactly, or use it as a guideline to how to run a country or something like that.
You can't use scripture as a reason for proposing a law. I mean, that's just completely fucking retarded. But yeah. So since the news is very driven by their viewership and by ratings, their target demographic are, baby boomers, are people that still hold on to these archaic, hackneyed ideals. So they're not going to want to let anyone have a voice. Because actually, as I mentioned before, I was talking to Patrick Scott Patterson. He offered to talk on numerous shows about this exact subject.
And what did he do? He got denied.
Got just under the carpet. Got just brushed to the side, regardless of his extensive knowledge of the subject and expertise with not just video games but video game history. So he could tell you about every single time that violence has been linked to video games, or at least attempted to be, and provide a real logical argument. But they don't want to hear it. So this is the kind of shit that honestly we all need to kind of speak up about. A lot of news shows have Twitter feeds. Let them know that you want to be heard. Send them links to meaningful articles. Blow their shit up. Make your presence so known that they can't ignore you, which is what we're really trying to do. We got to get everyone to rally up and prevent shit like this from happening. Because should Grand Theft Auto be taking the blame for the tragic murder of an 87-year-old woman by an 8-year-old with a handgun? No, it's completely unfair, and it completely throws away the investigative process in lieu of just saying, yep, well, this is a scapegoat, this did it. And now, you're going to have people picketing outside of fucking Take-Two Interactive. It doesn't make sense.
Bullshit is what it is.
These people spend tons of time and effort creating a brilliant game. Grand Theft Auto 4 was fantastic, and I loved every second of it. And, these people put their heart and soul into this final product to earn a living. And to blame something that good people put their time into for a horrible, tragic act is asinine to me. It makes the games industry look bad, and I think that can even go back to are video games considered art? I personally think they do.
I agree 100%.
And they need to be treated equally with movies, music, the whole 9 yards. I mean, look at how many movies have scenes of intense gory violence, rape, sex, the whole everything under the spectrum that we deem as taboo. But apparently video games are not exempt from that, because I remember when Mass Effect got a bunch of shit because there was a partial nudity sex scene. Okay, but it wasn't just oh, I'm gonna plow this chick. I mean, you had a full romance side quest. It was romance. It wasn't just like lustful, I'm gonna plow this. I mean, even if you played Renegade, which, you know, you're kind of in dick mode, but even then, I mean, there's meaning behind it. It contributes to the story.
It expresses an emotion. It brings together a story. It's not. I don't see why it should be so pushed aside compared to other media.
Yeah, so I urge you all to speak up. Do let us know what you think about this in the comments. I mean, we're really up for having a nice discussion about this. If you guys want to make a video response, let us know, and we'll add it as a video response to the video on the page. And you know, we really just kind of want to see how everyone else feels about this whole topic of the supposed link between video games and violence. So let us know what you think, and like, share, subscribe, the whole nine. And be sure to follow us on Twitter and speak up. Let somebody know. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna write my state representative about this topic and see if someone wants to do something. See if someone wants to give us a voice. You know, they supposedly represent us on the statewide scale. Why not represent us as gamers? I mean, we're a huge demographic. We contribute all kinds of money into the.
And we're all kinds of different people across the spectrum.
Yeah,
family-oriented people, career people, people that have just strived through their lives.
I mean,
people just having fun.
There are plenty of people that we interact with on Twitter that are full-grown adults that have children that play these games with their children, but they do the right thing. They say, "Look, this is a video game. This is real life. The two are completely separate." You know, and there are tons of great people out there that we've been lucky to have interacted with. So, you know, we've got a strong community. We just gotta let them know that we're here and that we're not gonna take any of this fucking bullshit anymore.
Yep, fuck it.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to interact with us. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you next time on Retro Rampage. Keep it old school.
Peace.